Eren the Southpaw came across my screen as I was perusing the new titles for the spring 2026 anime season. And without taking too close of a look at the key art, I instantly assumed it was going to be a show about boxing. You can understand why I would think that, but the show called Hirarikiki no Eren couldn't be further from Hajime no Ippo. Hirarikiki is a compound of Hidari, which means left, and Kiki, which means dominant. So you could also call this show Left-Handed Eren, but her art isn't expressed in the boxing ring, but rather on a blank canvas with paint. As of this recording, there have been 5 episodes of the anime aired in this season, which is getting a total of 13 through the end of June. The story begins with the high school students considering their future career paths with things like school options, and we meet a character named Koichi who is dead set on becoming a designer. The show has him cross paths with a girl named Erin, who is a left-handed artist the show is named for. And interestingly enough, they only seem to inspire each other from afar, as Koichi's path in the professional arts separates him from Eren. I'd like to take a few moments to express what initially caught my interest about this show, and that would be how it hops around in time. The story starts in 1998, which if you've listened to any of my content before this, you understand the nostalgic tug I get from stories set around this time. But we go to different years in the first decade of the new millennium, and even back to 1992 as we meet some characters older than Koichi. As confusing as the name for the series was when I first happened upon it, I must confess that I still am not entirely sure what this show is about. As in, I don't know as if I could explain it in one sentence, at least not now. At one point, I was sure that this show was going to be about spray can graffiti artists. And you'll forgive me if I also thought that this show was going to be centered around a character named Eren. But after 5 episodes totaling around the 100-minute mark, I'd say that this show is almost exclusively about Koichi's career as a designer, and Eren takes the place of a silent muse for him. There was a moment where I almost dropped the show because I thought it was going to get a little too sad, but it managed to keep me hooked with a bit of a twist. I'd like this review of Eren the Southpaw up to its halfway point to be as spoiler-free as possible, so I'm going to leave out certain details that you can experience for yourself. But I feel very compelled to try to articulate why it is that I think I'm enjoying this title so much. I think, for me, this anime has been a bit of a mirror. Now, mind you, I'm no artist by any means, but I do see a lot of parallels in some of the raw details of Koichi's relationships with his peers and coworkers. I work in construction myself, particularly in concrete, and I am absolutely captivated by the ebb and flow of departments under a single umbrella that are at the same time distinct and a necessary element of a team. I could have swapped out the industries in that previous sentence because I see the same push and pull in Koichi's advertising and art design company. Between the sales team, the managers, the suits, the newbies, the senpai, all of them. In my own career, I hear how the mixer drivers push against the batchmen, the plant operators push against quality control, and sales creates work that proves to be difficult for all the departments, and yet, if even one of these team members falls short, the entire team will fail. As I was watching this expressed on the screen, that really hit me in such a powerful way that it made me feel grateful for the ability to work with my peers. And when an anime makes you examine your life through another lens and generates legitimate appreciation for the people around you, then how could I offer anything but positivity about it? This show feels real. It reminded me of discussions I had with my high school guidance counselor, as well as other people who encouraged me to go in one direction or another with a bright-eyed view of the future. But I've only ever found that it was not at all like I had expected, not in any single way. And as you watch Koichi struggle and succeed, you get an opportunity to cheer for those wins and brush off those failures alongside him. I'm quite eager to see the next episode of the show, and I'm enjoying the presentation well enough that I want to respect it by not diving headlong into the material that preceded it. But I will give a tiny little history lesson about how we got this anime, as I find it to be somewhat peculiar in its path to animation. Eren the Southpaw originally started as a web manga, written and illustrated by Copy, a mangaka who prior to making manga studied design at Musashino Art University, and worked for the Tokyo agency as an art director, a copywriter, and a commercial planner. The web manga was serialized on Cakes from March 2016 to September 2017, and was eventually adapted into another manga with a new artist, Nifune, while Copy remained the writer. Running from 2017 to 22, and once again resumed on Shonen Jump Plus in March of this year, it went on to be adapted into... Are you expecting me to say the anime next? Well, you'd be wrong, because it was first adapted into a 10-episode live-action television drama in the winter of 2019. Interestingly enough, the anime adaptation was not announced until 4 years later in December 2022 from the studio's Signal MD, responsible for animating the likes of Recovery of an MMO Junkie and Production IG, which most likely has had a hand in at least one thing you've watched through the years. I find the animation to be of good quality, and the pacing to be perfectly respectable. The flashbacks occur at understandable times and create empathy for characters that would otherwise seem to be creating friction for no good reason. I'd like to comment on the music perhaps another time, because I'm giving this impression from memory, and though I hate to admit it, I haven't found the score to be particularly remarkable. It certainly isn't bad by any means, but it's not really sticking for me. That, however, cannot be said about the opening and the ending themes, as those are rock solid and pass through my mental headphones multiple times a day after watching this week's episode of Eren the Southpaw. Let's talk about the opening theme, which no doubt got Jujutsu Kaisen fans off the couch. The song is called Funkin' Beautiful, and that's spelled F-U-N-K-I-N-B-E-A-Beautiful by A-L-I. That's a lot of spelling. And it features the Japanese rapper Zorn. It's got a nasty, stirring tenor saxophone that just dirties the track up, forcing the listener to get their feet moving. I really like the ending theme as well, which is called New Walk by Ima Murasaki. I've not listened to anything else by her, but I really like the vibe of this song, mainly because it reminds me of a song from one of my favorite slice of life shows in the summer 2023 season, My Tiny Senpai. The track it puts me in mind of is Sugar by Yuka, and that continues to be one of my summer jams, and New Walk really just gives me similar feelings. I like Eren the Southpaw a lot, and I fully expect to watch it to completion. I only have one request that I'm sure will get fulfilled in due time. Let's get more Eren! I like Koichi well enough, the kid at least has guts, but I'm itching to see what my girl Eren has gotten up to. I'm also curious to know if there's anyone else out there who's enjoying the series as much as I am. Can you relate to any of the workplace dynamics Koichi is going through? Are there any other anime you've watched that feel like someone's holding up a mirror in front of you? I'd be happy to read your thoughts in the comments, or you can send them to me at ogsansanimeclub@gmail.com, and I may even respond to them in a future video. The audio you just heard was from OG-san's Anime Club podcast, which you can watch or listen to on YouTube, as well as other podcast platforms listed in the description below. I really hope you'll join the Anime Club by subscribing to this channel so you don't miss out on future anime and manga related videos just like this one, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Until next time, see you, Space Cowboy.
楽しいだ。またね。